up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I hope everybody is having a lovely day today, a happy Monday. Thank you to everyone that was with me earlier for the Weekly Zest. That happens every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern, right on this channel where we discuss the latest week in crypto. I am your host, Franzi Hipper. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share the stream out with friends. It's great to see some new people in the chat. Thank you guys for popping out today. It's really great to see you. Again, make sure you share out the stream and drop that like because it gets zestier that way. And say hello in the chat. We're all friendly people in there. I'm going to waste no time. I want to talk to our zesty guest today. Today we have none other than Mitch Ray TA, aka the Lord of Charts. Welcome to the show, Mitch. How are you?
Doing quite well. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing great. I'm very happy to have you. You're an OG in the space, Mitch. I really like your vibe. I really like your channel. Everyone in there is so friendly. I feel like our communities have a lot of synergy in that aspect. You know, everyone's very sweet. Everyone's very nice. And you, as always, you're always putting really good stuff on your channel, always dropping chart knowledge, whether that's crypto or stocks, which I find very cool as well. I do want to get to know you a little bit, Mitch, and I'm sure everybody in the chat wants to get to know you a little bit better as well. Let's start off with college Mitch Ray. What were you up to in college, and what did you want to do with your life?
It's kind of interesting because it maybe goes back a little bit further than college. It's when I was in high school, actually. Because it's weird. I had obviously I changed my mind a couple times on things. So in high school, I was the anchor man of my school news and stuff like that. And so, but the reason maybe why I even wanted to do that or even thought about doing that is because I had a big influence from my uncle who throughout my entire adolescence, he was an OG. He worked at the Weather Channel for a long time. And so, I got to go to Atlanta and be in front of the green screen and all that, that has a huge impact. That's your schemata, the events that occur in your life that tend to make you who you are in the end. And that was a big part of it. And so from there, doing that, I went to college. I thought though I was just getting into business, just general business, and didn't really know exactly. I mean, maybe I did want to do be an anchor man or be in the news or something like that. But then, I was invited to walk on in Alabama, on the football team. And that was really tough. So being a walk on, you don't have any help from, the aides, the scholarship players have legit aides in the same room, with the player. And so I was just having trouble, because you're up at 6 a.m. and then you got to have your classes in the morning, and then you've got maybe an hour for lunch, and then you're right back at the football complex in the afternoon, and then you're not getting done till 7 o'clock at night, and then you're wiped, and then you eat dinner, and then you have to study and do your books, and then you go to bed, and it's the same thing over and over and over. So eventually after a couple seasons, new coach came in, Coach Saban. He cleared house. And I just happened to be I guess the cannon fodder. I was part of that house cleaning. And so, but I knew I wanted to go to Alabama. I'd been offered scholarships to smaller schools like Bethel, Belhaven, Mississippi College, Middle Tennessee State. And I just wanted to get a degree from Alabama because that had always been my dream growing up. I was born into the whole college football culture. And so, when football ended, I joined a fraternity and kind of let loose. And then I was I guess I'm in college a little bit more for the social aspect and the fun and the partying than I was maybe, becoming a straight A student and all that. So, I switched my major from business and economics to pretty much like telecommunications and film, and ended up getting a double major in that. So that's kind of like my college career and, you know, a gist. So.
Wow. So what position were you playing on the football team?
I was a linebacker, weak side linebacker.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's hefty.
Yeah. I mean, like, you wouldn't look at me now and think that, but at one time I was max weight of 235 pounds. So, I mean, max bench of like 365 at my peak. So, but that, I mean, anyone goes through Saban's winter workout programs like that, they'll become superhuman too. So, you could say they were doing the right thing there at the time, but they still are, but 15 years later. But yeah, I mean, and then I really did, deep down kind of wanted to get a meteorology degree, but it would have required too much work. There's no meteorology program. The closest one is like Mississippi State. So I would have had to like move there and live there. And who wants to live in Mississippi? Just, so, I mean, who wants to live in Alabama? But if you even, born circumstance, I was born here. So it's I was just about ready to get out and start making money. So I was very fortunate. It was a who you know situation. I got a great career job right out of college in sales, and built a network over 7-8 years. And then, but during that whole time, I had fallen in love with like charts, Japanese candlesticks, pattern development, just the candles, trends, everything. I just like it. It consumed my life. It just about as soon as I got out of college and started working that first year, I'd come to my dad's office. Him and my parents, they own their own business. Like they've owned it my whole life. And my dad's like, got his feet propped up on his desk.
Yeah.
He's just sitting back, checking his portfolio. I'm like, man, that's the dream. I need this in my life. I want that now. I want what he has now. But he spent like his whole life building it. And, he was just getting into, we were talking about stocks, and that was just enough. That was like legit. I mean, wanting what he had, but also just the fact that he was saying, hey, man, the money you're making now, it's decent money. You want to be investing this, buying, good assets and stuff like that and staying long. I'm like, okay. But that was just enough to get me start going down the rabbit hole of learning about all the technicals that I didn't really know was there. And then once I did, it was just, I was all in,
I mean, in college though, you were studying economics for a little bit and then you switched your major. So why, if you you didn't have that same vibe in college?
No, I didn't at all. I didn't really care about, I was very fortunate, privileged, I mean, so it was stemming back to before college when, I was offered these scholarships to these smaller schools, and I would do official visits there and check out, I'd talk to the team, the coaches, do tours and stuff of the campus. I just really wasn't that impressed. And, my dad came in one day and he was like, look, man, I can afford it. Why don't you just send your tape into Alabama, your accolades in Alabama, and see what happens? And I was like, okay, I did. And they invited me to walk on. And being an invited walk on is different than just walking on. Walking on, you have to try out. But like, if you're good enough and you have a good enough like track record in high school, they invite you to walk on. They can't give you a scholarship, but you're on the team, right? And so it was crazy though. Like the first day of our orientation, we showed up. It was like, I think like 8 of us. But then there were like 60 plus people there with us in the orientation room at the football complex. And I was just like, I was invited. Like, why are all these people here? And there was just some miscommunication, and the people that did not get invited were taken. We never saw them again. It was like, they took like 50 people and they were gone. And so, so it was kind of like stems back to my dad, where he is from Andalusia, Alabama, which is like South Alabama, stereotype, dirt, roads, whatever. It's very small. And, my grandparents, his parents didn't have any money. My granddad was a tank commander in World War II on Normandy, but so he didn't have any means. And so he was good at football though. And he got offered a scholarship to play football at Sanford, but Bear Bryant invited him to walk on. But his parents didn't have the money, so he couldn't walk on under Bear Bryant. So I think it was kind of like this thing where, hey, he's now I'm in the same situation he was in, but he has the means now. So I think that was a big part of it. And so he's like, man, just I'll handle it. And so I'm like, okay. And then, so I got to walk on because of that. And I mean, maybe could have taken it more serious. Football, though, just started becoming not fun. It was like military. It was just not the same as like the game I'd played my whole life growing up. So, it was just kind of like, when it ended.
They try to like shape your career at that point. They want you to be like a pro already, kind of get into that mindset about everything like that. So I guess that's why it's kind of more drill in college than in high school. Like they take it a lot more serious. Because I mean, college football is televised. It's a big deal now. Well,
Well, yeah, and you're talking about the most competitive conference in the whole league, right? I mean, the SEC Southeastern Conference, and at the time, Bama was okay, but then we were terrible, and then Saban came in our first year. We, had a bad first year, and then after he cleaned house 08, it was just like that was when the dynasty really started, and has been going on ever since then. So anyway, though, yeah, that's kind of like a little bit maybe how I got to Bama in the first place. It wasn't like just, oh yeah, I'm going to Bama. It was like, maybe I'm going to play football at a smaller school, but then I'm like, man, football's going to end and I want a degree. And if I get a degree from Mississippi College or Middle Tennessee State, it's like, and if I move back, I mean, like, I want to be competitive in the job market with a degree. Yeah. So I just figured this was the right way. And it was my lifelong dream anyway. So whatever, it worked out, I guess, in the end. So.
And then the broadcasting and journalism, did they teach you how to use all of the cool equipment? And do you use any of that information you learned then now? Because I know you do amazing streams. Guys, if you have not checked out Mitch Ray's streams, you're missing out because there's always so much going on. I did take a page out of the Mitch Ray Zesty Stream Handbook. If you guys subscribe or send a super chat or become a member of the channel, a special GIF will pop up. A little alert will pop up just like on his stream. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's on the weekly guest too.
Someone's saying echoing bad in the chat. I don't know if that's fake news or not. Chat, are we okay?
It should be all right.
Should be okay. All
but
right.
Yeah, you have amazing streams. So did you use any of that information that you learned in college and broadcast journalism now into your Zesty streams that you do?
I mean, maybe just being able to speak in front of a camera. I mean, I took advanced public speaking. My teacher was the coach of the debate team, So, I mean, like, I have pretty good pedigree when it came to like all this. And again, of course, like doing it in high school. I mean, like, right, we had a 2,000 student body at high school. It was huge. And every day, like, doing it in front of everyone's TV in the morning. So I don't know, just kind of, yeah, I mean, I would say some parts maybe you had to edit in high school too. But I had to do like, it was weird. It was a weird situation when I was getting my double major and stuff. Like, had like special treatment from the dean of students who was trying to get me. She was like giving me multiple credits for one class, but I had to do extra under her guidance of it. And it was like video editing, but it was also like reporting. We would have to go out and do like mock reporting on events and stuff like that. So it was, it was like in that category, I guess. Sure. Some of it was bull crap, but like, yeah, there were like the lower level classes were more like, hey, let's indoctrinate you to become a Marxist. But the other parts were fun and were helpful. But like, I didn't know how to stream. I never in my life, after I started my career in sales, I never dreamed I'd be a live streamer on YouTube. Never dreamed of it. Like, so that to me is what's kind of ironic and weird about it. Yeah, so I guess.
I did like the aspect that you're talking about, how they went out and did mock reporting, because I think that's something that's so lost nowadays. And shout out to CJ, by the way, for helping me test my new GIF effect on the stream. He gave me a $1.99 super chat. It did. It's so cute. It's like a little Bitcoin GIF from my NFT collection that like is on the dance floor and stuff. It's really cute. I like it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really lost nowadays, that people don't go out and do reporting. I know there were local newspapers around me. There was even, a local reporter place down the block from me that's now closed, obviously, because nobody is a reporter anymore. No one does real reporting. I feel that the only people that are reporters are the people that are with, like, the big name news stations. I think we need more of that, which is why I think what Elon's doing is probably pretty cool as well, where he's saying he wants to make Twitter the most accurate source of information, considering that, like, not only journalists are the people that, like, certified journalists are the people with good information, basically.
Yeah.
But we need more of that. We need more independent journalism here.
Well, the issue is, like, you used to have news, and then those news organizations that were reputable, that built their whole rep and everything on good news in the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, it got infiltrated by activists, right? Big money bought the platforms, the mainstream media, and now they're just hacks. They're activists for their political affiliations, and that's it. There is no more news in an alternative sense. I mean, like, you have to go to a YouTuber almost, right, to get that. And there's plenty of that, and which great form of diffusion from, YouTube has been wonderful for that. But now, like the elites, right, try to claim that people that don't have the authority, right, they are the authority. You should listen to us and no one else, right?
Sure.
That's been going on really bad, and everything got accelerated with the COVID crash, where the censorship and hey man, we can't have people thinking for themselves.
It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's bad. But this is what's been going on with almost everything lately. I mean, like if you look at like just the IP, intellectual property of movies, has been infiltrated by these exact same hacktivist people, like destroying Star Wars. They ruined Star Wars with
so
their
many different things. It's just wrecked.
Rings of Power.
REKT wrecked. Shout out to Echo Leaf for a $5 super chat. Much love to you. He wrote
Let's go
educators.
Echo Leaf, man.
Yeah, he said educators rule. We love educators. Speaking of, so your dad was teaching you about stocks and everything. That's what got you hooked, right? What did you like about the stock market, and how do you compare that to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, being that kind of the stock market is a little bit controlled by the people that you were speaking of? To a degree.
You're talking about like the
comparing kind of the big boys, the big money they kind of run Wall Street, to say the less, right? Meanwhile, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, something that's more of like us, the nerds out here. So how do you feel that the stock market compares to crypto, and why'd you like the stock market to begin with?
Stock markets, because I don't know, like the fact that I've grown up, I'm working my own job, career, and it just had more of an allure where it's like, hey man, if I like invest my time and study something that can make me money, over playing like, Rust or Warcraft or something, I like that. I like making money. And now I'm in the game of life, in a lot of ways. And some aspects of it is like, how much capital can I acquire, and this was the route to do that. I mean, and so if you're telling me there's some sort of art out there that exists to where, like, if you learn about it, you can give yourself a discernible edge where you have a greater than 50% chance of it playing out the way you're looking for it to play out. And if it's at a level where you can manage your risk properly, where you take on very minimal losses if it fails, but if it plays out, you make 3 to 1 plus, I'm all for that. I mean, that's like poker. I mean, this is a very similar thing to poker. I've been playing poker since I was 18 years old. Ooh. So there are a lot of commonalities with that, risk management, and being able to discern predictable patterns, whether you're playing poker, if it's against somebody, or position and all that, and trading, swing trading. Again, like what Bitcoin's showing right now is a predictable pattern. It's a harmonic structure that tens of thousands of these harmonic structures have developed over the course of all the charts, all the markets, and they played out. They don't always play out, but you don't know at the time if it's going to play out. There was a very similar pattern that played out on Bitcoin called the bullish Gartley in 2019 that we didn't know at the time. We didn't know that it was going to play out, but we had identified it. It's like, hey man, look, if you don't identify it and you don't even talk about it, then you're going to miss out 100%. But if you identify it and it plays out, okay, you might be able to make money on it. If you identify it and you don't, it could fail. But the thing is, when it fails, it's at a low risk area where it's easy to manage your risk and to set up a stop loss so you take on minimal losses. So that's all it's ever been about. Trading isn't about being right or wrong. It's really just about helping you identify low risk, high reward opportunities at any given time on the market. And most of the time, a chart is not giving you a discernible edge. People will request an asset on my stream, and unless they're, and I'll know like, hey, this is a great request or this is a terrible request. Someone requests an asset that's up 100% in 2 days, terrible request. I always appreciate the contributions, but terrible request because that can't help anybody. Like we're looking for someone it's clear that the teachings that I have instilled on my stream, the teachings of the really smart people, the geniuses that I've studied from, like you can tell that the person that tipped did that, and they're trying to find a great, trade setup opportunity where, they're identifying an asset at a critical level with a predictable pattern, with a discernible edge, maybe on multiple oscillators like the MACD histogram and the RSI.
So I know you related this to poker before, and I find that really interesting because poker is a thought process. Although I've learned the basics of poker, but I never really played it, and I want to learn how to play it. But I do love card games and the fact that like you do have to think ahead, you have to have a strategy, and you did mention risk management, which I think is something that's so important. You said you started playing poker when you were 18 years old, so you kind of had like these puzzle pieces moving in your head already. How did you learn risk management at a young age? I mean, you were in a frat, you were like partying your life away, and then, you got out of the frat, you're in the stock market now. How did you learn risk management?
I mean, risk management, like in terms of technicals, is simple. I mean, like it's just having a 3-to-1 reward to risk, but where you have a 3-to-1 reward to risk makes sense, right? I mean, like I guess I could screen share or something.
Yeah, let's screen share, Mitch. Drop the alpha.
Okay. So it's simple in the end, really. Let me try to pull up, we could pull up Bitcoin, but we could also pull up something that maybe hasn't really played out yet, but might still be at low risk for people. Maybe Neo or something.
Everyone's excited for the screen share. Thank you to everyone that's subscribing, by the way. Much appreciation. I hope you guys like my little gifts that I put up here.
Screen share.
All right.
Let's see which one.
Smash the likes, fam. There's so many people watching. Smash the likes.
Can they see the?
Yeah, everything's good. You're good to go.
Okay, so just managing risk is being able to identify, something like a range. This is a perfect example of a low risk opportunity for a long, even if it fails. Why? Managing your risk is when you're identifying an asset that is at a level, at a low where it's historically reversed at. We can clearly see that since May. That's been the case, right? Where, right around here, it's where it reverses to the upside. Well, now you're doing it again. You're holding the levels, but there are things you learn, like, Wyckoff stuff. Genius goes back to the 1920s. There's this combination called the spring back test of spring that is probably one of the most powerful signatures you could identify from the composite operator, and it has a very high success rate. And this thing is, I believe, working on that spring back test. And so, when you're managing your risk, you get out that risk reward tool, and you can understand, like, how much are you willing to risk? And if it plays out, how much would you win, right? And in this situation, it could be a little looser even, because all you need as a swing trader is a 3-to-1. 3-to-1 reward to risk means you only need to win 33% of your trades, right? You could lose 66% of them. If you're still making 3-to-1 reward to risk, it doesn't matter. You lose 2, you win 1, you still are good. So like in this situation, if you enter now at the support that's being back tested successfully, you're losing only a little bit. Like you'd get stopped out, minimal losses. But if it played out and it looks like, this is the area where you go long, right? You buy low, sell high. You've heard that, right?
Yes.
So this is exactly that. You're buying low, right, the bottom, and you'd be selling high up here. This would be one target. You can layer out one target, and then you could have a second target.
Oh.
All right, let's see here. Well, this goes back to history, I believe.
And this is Neo, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is Neo. Yeah. So you could go with 1342 because you can see historically, look, April 2019, November 2019, you can see June of 2020. These are inflection points, right? Where the asset historically has reversed there. So it would make sense to maybe have a stop loss set up just slightly below that or right around that, because if history repeated itself and Neo got up to 1340, it might reverse again. And you can see the type of reversals you received at that level. Look how much value it lost. After it failed to break that level, it dumped hard. So you could just think strategically, hey, that's probably a good spot to offload some of my position if I got in at the lows, right? So that's really all it means. Traditional technical analysis helps you be able to manage your risk, right? Without drawing some lines here, I wouldn't really maybe understand that I'm in the middle of a range, but I'm at the bottom of a range, right? And once the asset launches off this support and you start getting in the dead middle of the range, there is no more, it becomes impossible to manage your risk, right? Because if NIA's at 1030, where does it normally reverse? Does it reverse there? No,
no.
It's down at the bottom of the range, right? So up here, you're flipping coins because the asset could hit 1030, this 200-day moving average, and then sell off again. But you went long here. How do you set up your stop loss strategically? You can't. You cannot, right? Because if you're trying to enter at 1030 and like it could go to, the same spot that we just already talked about. I mean, doing this, you don't have 3-to-1, right? I mean,
that's dramatic right there.
It's awful. It's 0.82 to 1 reward to risk. It doesn't make sense. So you always want to be buying low, and TA helps you manage your risk. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Someone in the chat said, is this trading advice? This is not trading advice. This is education right here. This is straight up alpha being dropped right on your heads right now. So how long have you been, trading in the stock market? So like early 20s, you were saying?
Yeah, I've been like studying and learning and taking positions since like 23.
If you could go back to 23-year-old Mitch Ray, what would you tell him to start with when looking at the charts? If someone wanted to start trading today, what do they have to start with? What should they be looking at?
Charts. I would make it so much simpler, right? I mean, I'm like so self-taught, and I had to find everything fragmented, and now I've brought it all in house to my streams and my community, which I love. But I mean, simple, like get trading view, right? And then, one of your favorite tools is going to be the horizontal ray, the horizontal line, the trend line, the parallel channel. I mean, eventually at some point you'll get the XABCD tool, but that starts becoming, that's like more advanced, right? Where you can identify like M-shaped structures
and
the bottom of, like this would be a shark pattern, a bullish shark pattern completing. And that just strengthens your argument. If you're at the bottom and you happen to be showing like an asset that's hitting an extension pattern, or in fact an 886, which would be another form of the bat pattern, that I believe would just make your argument stronger for reversal. And really, to me, what like having a good trade, it's not about the one variable, it's about the many. If you can have, in your system, you have a multitude of things that can line up or not. And if most things aren't lining up, then it's probably not the best trade. But the strongest trades are the ones where you have variables that I say like coinciding variables, where it's like, not only are you at the bottom of the trading range, your oscillator is showing that the sellers are exhausted. This will be bullish divergence. And the fact that you broke a supply line and got back above the support, that's the spring. You're springing, which is bullish behavior. And now you're starting to show possibly a Volkowski pattern, like an inverse head and shoulders structure. So you have like, it's not just one variable, it's about the many. So I would say like, figure out what variables you like and in your system. And then I would say you want them all to line up. You want them all to be saying the same thing at the same time. And time scale, like going to different time scales is important too. Like you want this is the daily time scale. This is the boomer time scale, right? It's the slow go, and each day, each candle represents 24 hours. And then you can go to like the 4 hour. And oftentimes you're looking for the 4 hour to be, the oscillators to be implying the exact same thing as the daily, like currently right now, which is really great for this asset. Sorry, is it's showing. Are we still screen share?
Yeah.
Okay. So like the this asset above this key inflection point is actually right now showing hidden bullish divergence. It's above the 200 moving average too. That implies a continuation. So like a lot of times a combination that's really strong is when the 4 hour showing a form of continuation divergence and the daily showing reversal divergence. So that like you add it. So what I have like a video that talks about like cake baking, and it's just an analogy metaphor where the more variables you have, the stronger your argument, the more ingredients you have, the better the cake's going to turn out or whatever. So you can't just bake a cake with eggs, right? Well, baking a cake with just eggs in the situation would just be looking at one thing, just the harmonic, not looking at the supports, not thinking about where all this is happening on Neo, all happening at massive, retrace levels from the high. We're talking like 95% retraces from that pump we had, the highest high. My God, It was in the 100s. So looking at assets that have globally lost 88 to 95% of their value, those are the really good spots for reversal because those are value perceived areas. When an asset loses 88 to 95% of its value, you would say, hey, Neo, Chinese crap Beanie Baby coin, it's lost all that value, so there might be a sale on Neo. So we have an 88 to 95% sale on Neo. Well, I don't want a 61% sale on Neo. I don't want a 50%, 38% sale on Neo. I want an 88 to 95%. Well, you got it. You're at the level. So you're at the bottom of a trading range that's been developed here over the course of months, like 5 months since May. And it's lost all that value. This is great. I mean, this is so low risk. Even if it fails, it fails. You take on minimal losses, you move on with your day, and you try to you keep scanning. You keep looking for other assets showing us the exact same variables. So Neo is a great example of like managing risk and all that stuff, right?
I know you mentioned time frames, right? And we took a look at the daily, was the first one, just for someone in the chat that was asking, and we just looked at the 4 hour. Now, why would I not, as a beginner, look at the 1 minute chart? Because that's like the equivalent to like total like degen trading, right? It's 1 minute chart.
Yeah, it's like you're competing against bots and stuff, and
it's total degen stuff.
And the patterns, like pattern development and structural developments, like the slower the time scale, the more significant the time scale. And if you're on significant time scales like the 4 hour, the daily, the 3 day, the weekly, even the monthly, if you can identify a structural development on those time scales, is far more reliable than the 1 minute, the 15 minute, the 30 minute, even the 60 minute. I don't even look at those time scales. Institutions don't either. So you're looking at the daily to identify structural development. The daily is like where Bulkowski did all his research, like on inverse head and shoulders, ascending triangles, falling wedges, where the research is done by the smart people. So I know that you made a very zesty call back in, 2018, 2019, and you said that you kind of called a big move. So I want you to talk about it. So what did you call in 2018, 2019? What did you use to do that? Because I want you to talk about your favorite indicator. I wouldn't call it calling it, like.
Or you made a suggestion. You made a suggestion. I
mean, like, I'll never say I called it on anything. All I'm going to do is identify the structural development that's there. And remember, like, this is Mark Douglas stuff. It's not about being right. And really, it's not even about having expectations, because when you have an expectation and it goes against you, when you expected something, it will trigger an emotional response in your brain.
That's
true. And it will affect your next trades. So you don't want to be like, oh, I'm making this call. It's just more like, hey, this pattern exists. It developed. It's here. That's all I'm doing. And it's actionable for a long. If you wanted to trade it, you could have a stop set up, a little, 3,200 or so below that low from December 2018, and let it run and see what happens. Because this is a perfect spot to identify harmonics after capitulatory events, after massive sell-offs, which Bitcoin's in that similar situation, but different macro conditions. I don't have near as much confidence maybe now as I did maybe back here, but it was just like the thing it lost 55% of its value in 5 weeks. It was terrible. I remember having back-to-back 10-hour marathon streams during these one of these 2 days. It was crazy. But like when this happened, and I just remember the morning of, it was February 8th, waking up and that green candle, I'm like, oh my God, it happened. And I started screaming, and then it never gave back those gains. And then another rally. and then hit the top of the harmonic and then had a big bearish and golden candle. But then look, I mean, the buyers defended, 37.50, and you never even went back down to these lows from February. And so it just kept on meandering on up. And eventually the sell wall,
parabolic.
The sell wall at 4,700 5K, when it broke, it was gone. And this was like, there's some of my most viewed streams ever were during this run.
Wow.
And it all ended at 14K. And that was the massive 618 from the all-time high up there to the low. The 618 is the golden retrace, the high to low, 618 perfectly. And you never saw those prices again for a while. I think it was over a year. Yeah. But it's pretty crazy. Look at this. This was also on my live stream. If you just go back to, I think I was in New Jersey during this time, maybe not, but how it all ended for that cycle. How it all started was with the Gartley, and how it all ended was with the cipher, the bearish cipher pattern that completed really the date of July 10th and spent like 3 days there before it started reversing the bearish and golden candle. And that was it. I mean, like, this is a textbook bearish cipher, 61% on B, lower high on C, and a 786 on D. And that's what, I mean, eventually from there, that took you to the COVID crash lows. I mean, yeah, you had a rally, but you never recaptured the highs here. But like, that's how these things start and end in a lot of ways. And I mean, you had the same thing that happened on crude recently, a few months ago. And it was the exact same structural development, or it was really a shark. It went to the 886 instead of the 786. But right here, I mean, the same type of pattern. But like, how do you call a top on U.S. oil? You can't, because it's just a crazy bull run. But it's like, look, man, all we're doing is just showing, is plotting it. It's there,
that's
identifying
so crazy.
it. And 886, there's the magic in the 886.
I can't believe that, how well that played out.
I'm waiting for someone in our community to get an 886 tattoo, or a Gartley tattoo, or shark tattoo.
Well, speaking of your community, I just want to thank Colorado Trader 720 for the $5 super chat.
Let's go, CO.
He said he's a new fan today, so thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Colorado Trader, the CO Trader, the composite operator trader.
What a G over here. What a G.
Yeah.
So do you, I know you've been talking about some significant levels with Bitcoin, and a lot of people are out here, Mitch, and they're saying, okay, we're going to 10K. I even had Crypto Savvy come on the show, and I believe he was saying maybe 35 is a possibility. Do you see this happening? Do you see us, could this be the bottom? I feel like when everyone was saying laser eyes at 69K, everyone was like, we're going to 100 laser eyes. We had a big dump, and now everyone's saying 10K, possibly 3, maybe 8.
Is it everyone though?
No, a lot.
Is everyone saying?
A lot of people. I would say majority. Majority of people are calling 10K 8K, but which makes me think that maybe we just go the other way, and the bottom could possibly be in, and we're going the other way. Again, guys, that's not financial advice. That's just what I'm seeing out here.
It's speculative. I mean, like, look, it could play out both ways, where the harmonic structure that has been identified plays out, and we go to 28.8, and then later, how about next year Q2 starts or something? This happens later in the recession of 2023. We get to 14K, but it's happening in March. I mean, like, they can both happen. They can both play out that way. So, I mean, you just got to remember, you're in a bear trend, a long established bear trend on Bitcoin. And so you start breaking 31K, 32K, and you start back testing that level of support, and you start running again, you're in a bear trend. And then after that, you'd have to start taking out the highs of 48K. I mean, the amount of stuff that has to happen before you start switching to a long-term bull trend again on Bitcoin, it's insurmountable. And it's like, you're not even close here. You're at this timid, oh, well, we got an M shape, and we got, multiple months of buyers defending this level, and they keep defending it. And, you've got all this nice divergence, and when we're back above 19.891, I mean, sure, but like, really, until you even start taking out 22.5, it's really, really like tough to be like that, have that much conviction on this thing. But I am cautiously optimistic on Bitcoin above 19.891 for this thing to play out, because it does seem like one of those things where no one's thinking we're going higher. I mean, like, most people thinking we're not going higher. But what if we went higher temporarily just to for this to play out and to rip all the people's faces off. And then later, after we run up 30%, we then dump again. And then eventually in 3 to 6 months, we start seeing those 14K, 10K levels. I mean, that's where I'm at on it. Yeah. So it's like both maybe like higher and then lower. Like this is saying maybe higher than lower, but and again, what my concern is with all this and like why I'm still just only cautiously optimistic and haven't just been like become bullish is you got some serious macro problems. I mean, we are not in the environment we were at in early 2019 at all. This is really bad. We're talking worst stuff we've seen since '08, and in some aspects far worse than '08. I mean, like, yeah, there was a housing bubble and all that in '08, but I mean, the things going on now are extremely different. Like we have inflation problem, we have a sovereign currency problem, we have pension funds that are possibly going insolvent. So much stress on the economic system right now. Housing's crazy. Like Wells Fargo, their mortgage applications are down 90% year over year. So real estate's taking it on the chin. I know it's market by market in real estate, but collectively the real estate market's getting smashed. There's not really enough sellers because people are locked into their low mortgage rates, and there's no buyers because no one in the world in their right mind wants to be taken out of 7.5% 30-year fixed mortgage right now. Not at all. And the problem with it is like you're in this period where mortgage rates go up. Well, housing prices going down, it's lagging. So it's like you're still in this little weird, funky spot where housing is still extremely high and elevated from the pump we saw in the past 2 years, but interest rates are extremely high. So it's not a good market. I think it's the worst time to be trying to buy. And I can't even believe there are like advertisements and people trying to say that this is the best time to buy a house. Nah, you're just trying to make money. Whoever you are pushing that crap, that's completely not true. This is terrible time. The worst time to be buying a house, like right now. It's terrible. So give it 6 months, give it a year. Eventually things will change. They always do, right? I mean, like when Bitcoin was crashing, hey, look, man, eventually the bottom will get put in. We'll figure it out. But it's just going to take time and lower prices. I think the same thing with real estate. It's time and lower prices. And then now you have all these huge layoffs happening at all these tech companies. Crazy. It really is crazy. Let's see if I can find what other layoffs we've got going on.
I mean, a lot of crypto companies are laying off people. I mean, everyone's saying, besides the people on the TV, are saying that we're in a recession. You being in the markets for a long time, do you feel that we're in a recession?
Yeah, I mean, like definitively, yes, because it's like the Harvard Business School definition of a recession is when you see 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. That happened. And the only people arguing against that are the administration that right now that is censoring, weaponizing the, current administrations of our government, like the alphabet agencies. I mean, those are the only people saying we're not, and it's because they're in power and they don't want to lose the midterms. So, but anyone else that's an economist knows that, yes, we are in a recession right now, and it's only going to get worse. I mean, what's scary about, like, what makes me so, like, kind of still just only cautiously optimistic on Bitcoin is the fact that, like, the layoffs are happening in tech. I mean, massive layoffs, right? Hiring freezes and the layoffs. I mean, like, as of yesterday, Facebook announced they're laying off 1,000 plus employees. That's not gonna. Twitter started it. It's not the end. You think
absolutely?
At Comcast today, they're laying off thousands of employees. I mean, so it's gonna be like every day, news is gonna come out where more layoffs are happening, and that's the road to, a Fed pivot because unemployment is too low right now. So they're trying. I mean, that pretty much what the Fed's goal is. Hey, man, we gotta make sure companies have to lay off their employees and people become poor, and that's going to kill demand and that's going to curb inflation. That's the thought process. That's the theory right now. So only getting worse. And I'm saying, like, the tech stocks, if you look at them, I mean, sure, yeah, you had a couple of good days. You had a good day on Friday and stuff. All right, nice. But you're just looking at a Google chart right here. And I mean, like, this is a bubble that popped, and it's in a bear market, and it would require so much more to reverse this trend. It would take weeks or if not months to reverse the trend here.
That looks ugly.
It's disgusting. It's awful. I mean, we're talking like Google.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, Google hit its lowest level since November 2020 on Thursday. And yeah, it rallied, Friday, but it had a 4 or 5% rally on Friday. Well, in the worst market conditions, in the bearish market conditions, when you're going to get the most insane face melting pumps intraday, where you're going to get 5% jumps. It's just the market's so illiquid now. It's so easy to move these assets by the big players. Yeah. So you're thinking like, if we think about, remember we were looking at NEO and it lost like 88 to 95% of its value before we're thinking about maybe a reversal.
Yes.
Possibly. Okay. Well, you think about Google, we are doing Fibonacci from the low from COVID crash to the all-time high, and you're only at like a 64% retrace. Where the big value areas going to be right. Look at this. I mean, the 88% retrace is what we're going to be looking for. And that lines up with it's confluent with the resistance from July 2018, April 2019. July 2019. I mean, that's probably where you're headed when it's all said and done. So, yeah. I mean, like you can't even want to even be touching this crap until you get to these levels and you start developing an edge down there. And that's where you want to start developing like a local M-shaped pattern. You want to start developing bullish divergence in the oscillators. You want to start looking for all those variables that you were showing you on NEO. You want to be looking for them on Google when you start getting to $62. So, and if you think about that, that's what's concerning to me about Bitcoin, is because Bitcoin inherently has been extremely high beta, which means like its price action correlates heavily to tech stocks, Google being one of the biggest as a market driver, Apple being another. The issue with Apple is, this is not good. I mean, like you see all this classic distribution going on, slightly lower highs. That's insiders. That's big composite operator money selling, offloading quietly, not creating a panic. And like right now, I mean, you're rejecting the 200-day simple moving average again after earnings. And Apple's having issues because they're cutting production to their iPhones, right? You got all this stuff in China going on, where if this falls, imagine this thing making an 88% retrace. What happens to the collective market? This is the largest market cap stock in the world. And what if it made an 88% retrace? Unfathomable. No way. Sacrilege. It's only making a 38% retrace. And what if it made an 88% retrace? Down here, that'd be like $68. The S&P 500, the QQQ, it's in shambles. If this happens, imagine what happens to everything else in the market if this dumps. So there's an unfilled gap. So I'm just saying, like, there's so much room to fall on Apple, and it's showing only very bearish indications right now. It's not. Look, I mean, you tell me, like, from 2019 to the top, when was Apple really making like lower highs? And then lower highs, then some lower lows locally. When? I mean, you see the low, the high, the higher low, the higher high, even the COVID crash, a higher low in the end, right, than these lows. And then a higher high, higher low, two higher lows, and then a higher high in the previous high. You sell off, higher low in the previous low. You confirm the bottom here, and higher high, higher low. And then all of a sudden now that's not the case anymore. Ever since April of this year, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, working on a lower low. Yeah, you'll probably be getting a lower low soon that it's going to take out the 132.69 level. I know there's going to be some insane volatility. We got to be cognizant that tomorrow we have midterms, and depending on how that goes, that can change everything. Like, so I remember when Trump got put in office, as soon as he won the election, everything changed. Like, growth started going insane again. We could probably look, and Biden, when he got, he became confirmed to be the president after the elections and stuff. Value started outperforming growth like crazy, and that's the same today. Let's see, 2016. We'll see, what was it? November 2016, right around here is when the election was. And look at that. I mean, you were already you weren't making higher. You did nothing for 2 years, almost nothing. You were flat. Yeah, look at this. I mean, from 2014 to 2016, nothing happened. But then when that catalyst occurred, that's when the continuation of the long-term uptrend resumed, right? And so then you have the COVID crash, but then was it November of 2020? November 2020,
Yeah,
right around
around
here.
there,
That's when Biden got, he won, and it continued. But like this was when, you started seeing like energy stocks, value names, defensive stocks started outperforming the crap out of growth. Apple kind of maybe is different because it's been so good. It's been legendary. I mean, this is Berkshire Hathaway's largest holding, I believe, Warren Buffett's massive hedge fund. So yeah, it's been amazing. But I'm thinking like Warren Buffett and them, they're offloading. They've been offloading for months now.
He's
most
actually,
of the year.
I believe Berkshire Hathaway was actually investing in a virtual bank, and they sold some of their Visa and MasterCard holdings for that. I covered that on the Weekly Zest, I think, last week. So that was something that was interesting. So even though Warren Buffett could like give like crypto some like poop sometimes, he's still investing, like he's still here, and he
rat poison.
Yes. I had Liz Kleeman on the show who he said that to on Fox Business. I had her on the show, and we were talking about that. So if you guys want to go check out that interview, it was literally called "Is Bitcoin Rat Poison?" It was a really good interview, but it's crazy, Yes, I saw Alan in the chat, Nubank. That's what Berkshire Hathaway was investing in. So because I know they were doing something with Polygon, and it's a whole virtual bank. It's a whole thing, but
yeah, you have like a lot of like really notable people on this show, and it's like,
thank you.
It's very impressive. I mean, you get them on the show. Yeah, I don't have like anyone on my show ever except Scott Carney. He's the only guy. We just talk about charts and we nerd out in that way. But yeah. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate you.
When did you start like streaming and stuff, content creation?
I guess April 2020, when I first created my Twitter account. That was when I first.
April 2020.
That's when I first started doing everything. You could stop screen sharing if you want, because I have a few more questions for you besides chart stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Let me.
But thank you for all your chart alpha. Like, I literally love your alpha. So basically, I started in April 2020. I really liked crypto, and it was lockdown. Things were depressing, and I didn't like that anymore. I don't like to be sad. I really liked social interaction, and I really wasn't getting any because obviously there was so much, restriction here. So I started tweeting on crypto Twitter. I just created Miss Teen Crypto, so it was available on Instagram, Snap, and Twitter. So I was just like, okay, let's do it. And I started tweeting, and then I started posting videos, and it kind of just all evolved from there. And I started my podcast, and we're at, technically on YouTube it says 99 shows right now. This is the 99th show on YouTube, but I have 2 more that were removed.
Dang, up with the 100th. That'd have been.
I know, but I lost track because there's a few that got deleted that I wasn't happy about. But gotcha. It is what it is. But yeah, it's been a really good ride, and I know you've been an OG in this space. My dad actually was an OG moderator in your chat, and he was around when you were called the Lord. So when did you start your YouTube channel? Why did you start your YouTube channel? Just start from there. When was that? And how far was that from when you first found Bitcoin too? How'd you find Bitcoin?
Oh, it wasn't too long after. I mean, I found Bitcoin in like late 2017. It was curiosity that got me in because, I'm like over here, hey, man, NVIDIA just got, it just pumped 30% on earnings. Holy crap, PayPal, same thing. Oh, my God. And then like over here, just Bitcoin consuming all the media. And thinking back on it, it's like, that's the composite operator. He got me curious about crypto, but many people curious about crypto. And it's like, this is a bubble. What it's doing right now is defying gravity, and this won't end well. That's even what Warren Buffett said, but you just know, like looking at a chart, something that was doing what Bitcoin was doing, going to 20K, that's not sustainable, and it's not going to end well. It didn't end well. Eventually it topped out. But I didn't start streaming until after the bubble popped, really. It was pretty short after the bubble popped. It was February 2018.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, right. And so, born in a bear market. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, that's the way you have to. I think that's the strongest plants grow in the harshest conditions, right? So
I like that.
I think if you start this game in the bear market and you make it through to the new bull market, the spoils should be yours, right? But anyway, I started it because I don't know, it was more about just trying to find communities of people that gave a crap about stocks and some crypto and stuff like that. And there's just a bunch of people that were interested and cared because of the mania of crypto, but they're just running around with their heads cut off like chickens, like, and just like, and posting, just, I don't know, they would post charts, but it wouldn't be like traditional technical analysis, or it'd be like an attempt at it and was just crude. And so, well, hey, look, these are things I've been learning about, and started talking to people about it, where we were and stuff. And people would like ask questions. It's like, well, I mean, this is what Bulkowski says. This is what someone else says that I've been, reading from for years at that time. And, met some really good people and some really not so good people at the time. And there was this weird like civil war that started. There was this group of guys that, I don't know, they teamed up with this kid who was live streaming charts, but like not traditional technical analysis. He was just doing charts and doing 1 minute stuff. And I don't know. And that guy, because of the mania of crypto, started blowing up like with viewers and stuff and subs. And their Patreon was going pretty nuts too. And then that guy who like was the streamer cut out the team that helped him get started. And then they like started a civil war against the guy. And so I was in that one guy's Discord, and then these guys broke off and made their own Discord. And so I joined that one too. And, I was just like there because like people were from one community to the other. They thought it was bad. So I like did both. And then I got, I was helping people and started gaining like a rep, online rep, like in that small community, like for being like helpful and stuff like that. And then I guess the streamer guy who cut out the other people found out I was in the other Discord. He's like, look, man, you got to choose, like either my community.
Oh my gosh.
Tribal. And I'm like, well, yeah. And then I was like, I've got to go with the community that didn't coerce me or threaten me, So I like left his and then went over there, and then kept doing what I was doing, just talking, helping, we had like voice chats and stuff about charts and all that. And then the people that started that community, they reached out to me and they're like, hey man, you should live stream.
Oh.
And I didn't really think about it at the time, but they were kind of trying to weaponize me as a tool for revenge against the other guy, which was bad. And so,
such drama.
Yeah. And so the mania like ended with the bubble popping and stuff like that, the blow off tops. And so like, it wasn't easy to get like people joining Patreon and stuff like that because the bubble popped and people were getting massacred, right? Financially speaking. And so, when I started streaming, most of the money was coming from tips, right? People were tipping me for analysis and stuff versus joining the Patreon. And the way we had all set everything up, they'll teach me to live stream, all the rudimentary aspects of live streaming. And I would do it on their channel. They would be in control of everything. And then I'd make a cut of the Patreon and get most of the tips, like 85% of the tips even. It was stupid. But this is like how it goes at the beginning, and you learn. And so they realized the deal they signed me up for, they got the short end of the stick because they weren't getting Patreon, because they weren't getting nearly enough. All the money was coming from tips. So they hated that and they resented that. And eventually they started bringing in other people on the channel, trying to get me out. And eventually when I heard about it, I jumped ship to another content creator's channel for a little bit, for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months, just to get calibrated. That's when, and thankfully for that guy, he helped me develop my brand, right? Because I was under the guise of someone else, but I didn't have my own personal brand. But the issue is, it's like the ring. It's like the one ring. Like I had my Stream Elements PayPal hooked up to his, or I had my PayPal hooked up to his Stream Elements. So he saw full transparency how much money I was making in tips. And it made him lose his mind. He also lost it and started trying to charge me his dead channel. I was growing his dead channel. That was the reciprocity. I grow his dead channel. I get my tips, 100% of them. And that's it. And I stream on your platform. Well, he tried to start charging me. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? We'd already established our Discord. We were ready. And then we made the jump in August of 2018, my own channel. And that was like, TA with Mitch Ray episode 75, I believe, was the first episode on my new channel. So it was like this, it was like my independence.
It was your Independence Day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's so cute.
So not conventional. Not like, hey, I just want to start my own channel. It wasn't like that. It was like more like, I never expected in a million years to be doing this. And now I guess I'm doing it and I don't really care. It's kind of a side thing. And then all of a sudden it was like, you know, within a month and a half or even a month of doing it, I was making more money from what I was doing, live streaming, than I ever could have dreamed of doing, like in my career job I had built for 7-8 years. It was unbelievable. It's like, what?
That makes me so happy. I love to hear that.
So yeah, it was just kind of like, I didn't choose it. Like they chose me, but it was maybe nefarious on why they chose me to get back and try to destroy the guy. You know, they did a lot of things, you know, I get it, but they were very vindictive. And then they did the same crap to me. Like in the end, they had my, you know, 1099. So they had all my info and they insidiously did stuff. They come
on.
They doxed my social security on like, you know, on one of the streams stuff like that. I have LifeLock forever now because of that. Well, my credit's frozen, so no one can do it.
No.
But yeah, they like sent all my info. Yep. Just because their business, what was their business? Rely solely on me. Basically. And they do nothing. Yeah. So yep. So I mean that's
justice for Mitch Ray.
Oh yeah, they because I left abruptly because they abruptly were doing things behind my back, but Brad had my back. He was on the same team with me, like in these guys, Brad Fisher, and he saw what was going on. He would tell me everything. And so we're like, okay, we jump ship together. So Brad's been with me forever since all of it. And because of his inside information, I made my choice. But unfortunately, that first month or that month when I left, I had compiled like over $20,000 in just tips alone. And they took it all from me. And like, since it wasn't it's cross state borders, I tried to get an attorney involved. No one would take the case because it's just
kidding me?
Insignificant amount of money, whatever. And at the time it was like, you know, whoa, man, that's 20 grand. But now it's like, yeah, of course it's like whatever now. But like, you know, it's just crazy that all that stuff had to happen, you know, just so I could start my own channel eventually. So
that's so crazy. Shout out to Egg, by the way. Thank you, Egg, for your super chat. I appreciate you. And also shout out to Brad. Thank you, Brad, for being the agent that that Mitch Ray needed to get his independence. That's
Brad wild. Pretty much is my agent. I would consider, kind of like that.
Thanks, Brad. Shouts to Brad. So how did you become the Lord?
Oh, that's just stupid. It was like, stems back to, hey, man, it doesn't, you know, I used to play video games and I had a Discord handle, you know, called Lord Ray, and that was like my handle in video games, Lord Ray.
Got it.
And it was like, you know, because I've read all the Game of Thrones books and kind of obsessed over that for a while. And
Game of Thrones is awesome. I didn't read the books, but I watched the show.
Yeah, well,
it's not the same.
You sure it's awesome? It was awesome, and then season 8 came, and it was
everyone hates the last season. You know what? I kind of agree. The last season was a little bit rushed, but I am a fan of I thought it was just very well written because there were things in the first episode that foreshadowed way farther into the show than you would think.
Are you talking like first episode, season 1?
Let's just say, even in the first few episodes. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but within the first few episodes, they were talking about a lot of stuff.
If they ain't watching it, if they have not watched it now,
I know
they're never watching.
I was on with David Gockstein, and he gave me hate for talking about certain things that happened in Game of Thrones. But this is something that you should have watched already. You know what I mean?
Too late.
So, did you watch House of Dragons? What'd you think?
I did.
What'd you think?
It was okay. It was fine.
You weren't a fan?
No, it was fine. I mean, it was like, hey, you know, Rings of Power was running concurrently with it as competition. It's like, Rings of Power was so bad, I didn't even watch it. I just watch a guy who comments on it and does the rundown of the episodes for me because it's terrible. It's hot garbage. It's like the worst thing ever produced.
Oh wait, is that the new Lord of the Rings series that they did?
Yeah, it's a scam.
Oh,
it's a joke.
It's
fan fiction. Yeah, it's fan fiction. It's not relative to canon. I'm obsessed with the Silmarillion, which is goes deeply into the first age, the Age of the Trees too, and the second age.
Yeah.
And what they're doing with it, none of it makes sense. None of it follows canon. It's all stupid. And yeah, it's just a bunch of activism and all that stuff that's ruined everything. Yeah, they've ruined Rings of Power. But it's okay because you can see the everyone lashing out in the Tolkien community. even like the mainstream media in a lot of ways, they're saying it's hot garbage too. It's just terrible writing. Like if you were going to do fan fiction, you could have had good writing, good showrunners, good actors, good cinematography, good music. You could have had all that. You didn't have any of it. No, it was just terrible from start to finish. Like plot holes. It was just all in the message, right? The woke message is all. It's just metastasized in that show, as well as Star Wars, everything.
That's unfortunate, to be honest. A lot of shows have like done that. Even, you know, for the Gen Z, Gossip Girl was out, you know, 2008-ish, and it was a good show. Like the original OG Gossip Girl was banging, and then they did a new one, and it's kind of just like, I'm mixed about it. It wasn't as good, but it's just like there's so many things being remade that I think that we need more authenticity out there instead of just remaking things. Even though I thought, you know, House of Dragons was pretty good. You know, I wasn't mad about it or anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't mad, but
it's just weird. Like the whole, like, I don't know, everything's fine. Wow. And then all of a sudden, like the grandma breaks through the ground.
Hold on. Don't be spoiling House of Dragons. Okay, like people might not have finished that. Mitch, stop it.
What are you doing?
I'm not
gonna
let
you haven't seen it yet.
You could spoil Game of Thrones, but you can't. It's too soon for House of Dragons. This only ended like last week or 2 weeks ago. Don't do them dirty like that, Mitch. I also wanted to ask you, because I know you live in Alabama. You went to school in Alabama, and that's like Southern, right? Like, so do you guys
Southern, deep Southern?
So do you guys like? Okay, because I'm obsessed with like line dancing videos online. So like, did you guys go line dancing? Like, do you wear like the cowboy hats and the boots down there? So like, what's the vibe? I really want to know. I'm so curious.
Well, I'm from Birmingham, right? So I am certainly in some sort of bubble. Like my whole life, I'm a suburbs kid. You know, went from the country. I played video games, went to church, and did school. Like that was my life. You know, so. A little bit different than your typical Alabama. Outside of Birmingham, it's like that, everywhere. But I'll tell you this, which you'll probably laugh at, even being in Birmingham, where it's the bubble, and it's like I'm in the richest. I mean, I was born and raised in the richest part of the state, for sure. So I was very privileged and all that. But like,
bougie.
We in our school, in like middle school, we had to line dance, and we got graded on it in PE. So we were doing line dances to Mambo No. 5, the Blue song. If I was blue, I would Abadita, I would die, whatever. Eiffel 65. I mean, we had to do like, and we got tested on it. We'd have to learn it, do it, practice it, and then it was like an exam where we would do it. And so line dancing and square dancing, that's
terrible. Nice. No, I think that, I mean, when I was in 5th grade, I had to take there was like ballroom dancing that I had to do. So I learned like a few things there. That's
classy though. Yeah. I mean, like ballroom dancing, okay, but
there were a few things I was like going off. I was like so happy to do it. But I think line dancing looks pretty cool, because now I know Shivers by Ed Sheeran is like the new poppin' thing in the South, and that's what everyone's doing line dancing to. So I wanted to like, so do you go line dancing? Do you line dance at all, Mitch? Like what?
No.
Why not? I feel like you would be good at it.
I mean, like I think I've taken.
Let us know.
Yeah, would I be good at line dancing?
Let us know.
Mean, like, you could, you could go, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not really into like the whole country thing. I like classic country from the 90s. It's okay, like Garth Brooks, George Strait, some Kenny Chesney and stuff like that when I was in middle school and found country. But now country music is like not country. It's like pop music now. It's like for marketing. It's like rap music. Rap's like mumble rap. It's legitimately not meant for, oh, wow, this is artistic creativity. No, it's just like hot garbage. They throw it on. It sounds okay auditorily with the synthesizer, and then boom, boom, boom. And it's like same the country like now.
Okay, so bottom line, you're not going out line dancing?
No.
Why?
No. There's a place down the road called Neon Moon that's like the most happening spot.
Why
downtown.
Don't you go line dancing? I feel like you would be good at it. I feel like you would be like,
because
all
it's
up in
like,
there, you know.
I'm just not a line dancer. I don't know. Like
So you wouldn't go?
I mean, line dancing, you're doing it solo, right? I mean, square dancing is with someone.
But what do you mean? Like when everyone's line dancing in the videos,
they're doing it together. You're together, but you're alone.
Yeah, but like people like dance together in it. Like they get.
That becomes square dancing then. That becomes square dancing. If you start dancing with somebody, you square dancing, right? Squaring up.
Okay. I
Do you
mean,
not know this?
no, I'm not a Southerner. No.
Yeah, but like it's square dancing, line dancing. Line dancing, you're alone, but you're together. Everyone's dancing like kind of in unison. Square dancing and lines, and then square dancing is when you're with somebody and you're doing almost the same thing, but it's just like with somebody. But I don't do either of them. I think I've taken the good aspects of being Southern and deracinated myself from the bad stuff, like the accent, like the deep, heavy accent.
You have an accent though. I was gonna say.
You do too, though.
Not
You're
not
Brooklyn.
bad.
You're from Brooklyn. You
Not,
sound
not
like you're.
bad. Your
It's not bad.
accent's heavier than mine.
Is it, chat?
I think so.
Can we get back up on this? This is real.
Roll Tide, friends. Roll Tide.
Yeah, my God, what a bad game this
Tide.
weekend. Oh my
R.I.P.
God, I'm so sick.
R.I.P.
I'm so
Alabama.
sick.
I know it was a close game. But I really do think that I would listen back to the line dancing thing because I'm a little obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go line dancing. Like me and my sister have talked about this. Like I could picture it. Like everyone's talking about this now in the chat. Everyone said I should get a cowboy hat. Heck yeah, I would love that. Like I could picture it.
You
Like,
get one?
a cowboy hat, and like I would like the light brown cowboy boots or the white ones. Like if I'm going white, that means I'm going bougie. Like we're out here, and like a little heel and just like go off. Like I could picture it, Mitch. I could picture it.
I think you should. I think you would love Nashville. Nashville would be a wonderful spot. Yeah, that is like bachelorette capital of the world. I mean, that's
I'm not
where.
looking to be a bachelorette here, Mitch.
No, I'm just
looking
saying.
to,
I'm just saying like
dance.
that. You're bringing up like cowboy boots and cowboy hats, and it's like girls that wouldn't typically be wearing that when they go to Nashville. That's what they wear. They sport that. I mean, they buy cowboy boots and hats and all that.
So outside of the little bubble you were talking about in Alabama, they don't dress like that.
Yeah, kind of. There's a lot of like plaid shirts. I have a lot of plaid. I don't know. I
like that fit, like the plaid, the jeans with the big buckle, and all that. Like I love that.
Yeah, not many cowboy hats. If you'd be surprised, not many. But beards and I don't know. Big trucks. That's a big thing. A lot of big trucks.
Yes,
and,
I saw that in Texas.
They're tobacco dip. They're dipping, and they got the accent. They're like going fishing and hunting, they'll do that. So, I mean, you've got like that, but I'm not really subscribed to it. NASCAR. Oh my God. Talladega.
NASCAR?
Let's go to Talladega, see a race. You got 150,000 people. Yeah. Let's do that. I mean, we can, right? I've never been to a Talladega race, but it's evidently legendary for people watching. It's like a bucket list. I guess I need to do it at some point. I mean, like if I'm from Alabama, but like, Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell, like that's that movie, right? That's Talladega, Alabama. So,
Alabama.
It's not much, there's not much here. And like, I mean, many times I've thought about moving. I haven't yet. I was going to move like almost certainly, but then COVID hit and it's just like locked down. And then I get to see like what all these places, all these cities, their government started doing, like becoming full on fascist authoritarians and locking down and making people wear masks. And, people are losing their employment if they don't take an experimental jab, gene therapy. That stuff turned me off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of proud to live in Alabama because they didn't do any of that crap here. Nor in Florida and Georgia, wherever, so.
Like Alabama seems like a chill place, because like I loved when I was in Fort Worth over the summer. I was traveling for events and stuff. I loved being in Fort Worth. I loved the cowboy hat look. Loved the boots. Loved that there were horses on the roads. It was
horses on the roads.
I saw some horses on the roads. It was wild.
That's someone's investment running away. Money.
No, someone was on it. Like
okay.
No, like people were riding horses. They were riding their horses on the road. Is what I meant. Sorry,
gotcha.
Mitch. But yeah, I thought it was really great, and they had a great barbecue. Like the food was awesome. So like, is there good barbecue in Alabama?
Yeah, there's really good barbecue. Do you like
cornbread?
Cornbread.
I'm a big cornbread person.
I'm not a big carbs guy. I'm not really big on eating bread and like being cool with bread. I don't know. Like anytime at dinner, you want the bread? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't know. Like I did keto for like a year, so I'm like, I know what carbs do. I mean, like carbs are okay in very small amounts, and then when you start doing like, hey, let's get some lasagna or some pasta, it's just like glue. You're eating glue, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna turn into some fat. Like Like and I could just eat a steak and mushrooms, garlic, things that just don't have light to no carbs. I'm like, this just kind of my thing. But I did keto for over a year, or a little over a year during the lockdown. It was so easy to do. Ketosis. Yeah. I was like, let's see how much weight I can lose, and all that. And
Mitch,
it was fun. You learn about, I was just like, hey, I'm locked down in the suburbs at the time. I wasn't in the city. And like, what do you do? I mean, you can't go out and go to a restaurant. You can't go hang out with friends. So it's like, why don't I just learn about my body more and learn about ketosis and try it out and see what happens? And it was fun.
I'm upset. I cannot.
Oh yeah, that I don't like cornbread.
No, not just the cornbread. That breaks my heart too. But the fact that you just like outed pasta like that. I'm like part bread. I'm like part pasta. You know what I live in Brooklyn.
Are you Italian?
Yes. And I live in New York. Like, what am I supposed to eat?
Oh yeah.
Pasta, pizza, bagels,
steak.
I
chicken.
love steak. See, okay, here's the problem. Because here, if you go to the store and you try to get a ribeye, it's like $28 a pound. So a steak is like $43 for one steak. It's not even worth it anymore.
What? $43 for a steak
I have to eat the bugs. Like
you have to eat the bugs?
I know you love bugs, Mitch. I know you love bugs. I know everyone in your chat is
I'm
a
obsessed.
big bug person. You like crunchy cockroach French fries and cockroach lollipops and all that.
Can I turn the screen share back on real quick?
I'm scared. Why?
Because I want to show you the live cattle futures chart, which is steak.
You want to
the steak chart? You want to see the steak chart?
If you really so please.
Of course, it would please me. It would please me.
All right, if it pleases, just for the Lord, only for the Lord.
There it is. Can you see it? It's hit a 1618.
So we're doing good. The steaks.
I don't know. I don't think you want this thing to do well, right? I mean,
why not?
Because this is like, live cattle. That's like your steak price. I mean, if this thing's hitting all-time highs, it's
send
like
it to zero.
Hey, well, if you're going to all-time highs, that means like whatever the steak. All right, so it's like the let's just say it's the inverse bugs chart, right? This is the bugs chart. Like flipping the chart over. This is for the bugs. Bugs. I guess it's like the higher that steak gets, the lower the bug prices are gonna get. So, if this keeps getting higher, you got to think like you're gonna eat every time this goes higher. You will eat the bug intensifies, right? I mean,
oh my God, no!
Your food costs are increasing like crazy.
Don't do this to us. Don't make me eat the bugs. I'm absolutely horrified. Like I used to go in this ice cream shop. There's like an Uncle Luigi near me, and so I was going to get ice cream one day, and all of a sudden I'm seeing literally bug lollipops. I was absolutely horrified. I will never eat a bug. You will catch me dead before I even go near one. A bug comes out, I'm screaming for somebody.
Are you talking about like the what is it called? Moscago, like the Mexican thing?
No,
like it's the drink with a bug in it?
No, I'm talking about like full-on lollipops.
Is this where was this again?
In an ice cream shop.
Where? Like in New York?
It was closed. It's closed now. Yeah, it was in my neighborhood. And I was
wow.
It was horrifying.
Bugs coming to
I was scared.
City near you.
Yeah, I told my sister was little at the time. I told her I would force her to eat it. She got really mad at me. That's what I remember. I bugs and lollipops. I was like, who wants to eat this? This is messed up because it's almost like like the Tootsie Pop. Like how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop and then you get a Tootsie Roll as a reward? Now they want to give you the bugs as a reward. I'm not down with that.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of the bugs?
It's disgusting.
No, it's nasty. I said this on my stream before. It's like you'll see the sympathizers. I think they're Twitter bots. They're like paid for. And they'll be like, because there's all this before Elon bought Twitter, there was all this bug propaganda from these media sources. Well, I'm talking about the activists, right? For Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. They own it, man. They own the cabinets of governments. They own the media. They own the institutions. They own everything. So before Elon, because they own Twitter before Elon bought it, just saying. So when that was going on, and you'd be like, people were outraged, and then you'd have the sympathizers in the comments being like, well, bugs. People have been eating bugs for tens of thousands of years. And it's like, you know why they're eating and it's a delicacy in third world countries or in certain countries. Like, yeah, it's a delicacy. It's like they're eating that because they don't have steak. They don't have chicken. They can't, they have to eat it to survive. So it's like that. How is this some sort of argument for why we should eat the bugs? Because third world countries eat it out of necessity. Well, they're trying to make it now, it seems like, where you can't get steak. Peasants can't afford the steak, so they have to eat the bugs. They're gonna have to eat the fake burgers, Bill Gates burgers, right?
So honestly,
Bug
those like
Bitcoin's dumping.
Yeah, those burgers are scary to me. I don't know. I just don't trust anything. I'm scared to even eat what's in the supermarket nowadays. I just don't know what's going on anymore. I think our world is being like, it's upside down. The past few years, it's been upside down. But what we do know COVID. Is that Mitch Ray does not line dance. He is the Lord of charts, and that he does go live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Is that correct?
It's true. It's true. And Bitcoin's down $438. It's dumping. Bitcoin's right now, at its lows of the day. Yeah. Right now.
Oh, sheesh. Yeah. Moves.
Here.
Oh, I'll show you. We're displaying. Let's display.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Uno momento,
20,430. Down 2.2% now and
Holy
falling.
Sheesh. Guys, subscribe to Mitch Ray's channel while you're here. Oh my gosh. I just dropped the link in the YouTube chat. Don't leave us. Just subscribe and come back.
That's right. Yeah, don't leave. Just, But you don't have to. I mean, like, it's cool one way or another.
No, it's not okay.
It can get dry.
Subscribe. What's going on? It can get dry. Now? What's going on? Break the news, Mitch Ray. Drop the alpha.
Just trying to, the daily takes away all the noise. So you're not like freaking out. Like I'm looking at the 4 hour on one of my other screens and looking at the daily. No big deal. Just giving up that big day from the 4th, unfortunately. I mean, again, this is what I'm talking about. Like, though the structural development has been identified, it's great. Historically, this is how reversals occur. How it can, but it doesn't mean it's going to. And so that's why I'm not bullish on Bitcoin, cautiously optimistic above key supports from 2017. That's all I am. And you can clearly see like the price action's really still kind of just choppy and rough and gains.
It's like tinkering.
Yeah, it's kind of making higher lows or higher highs from before, but like it's still well below the high from September 12th. So it's like it's okay still, but you start falling below 19,650, the argument starts getting weaker and weaker, and then it's like below 19,650. If you look at history, besides lately this year, I mean, there's just not much to do besides straight up and down and straight up, and it could go straight down, and that's why the target is eventually 14K.
Yeah.
So it's either, you think about either it's going to crap out soon or we go on a run that takes us, to some higher levels or even to 25K, 28K. And then later we probably are going to 14K, or it's just like soon, right? It's soon we're going. And again, I hate these market conditions for longing a speculative risk on asset like crypto. When tech is crashing, tech stocks are crashing and they're not even near their lows. Like the 886s, they have so much further to fall. I mean, you think about Apple dumping, that's not going to be good for Bitcoin. It's terrible. Like people are going to get scared. And if the VIX, the volatility index starts rallying, that's when you're in a lot of trouble. That's where nothing can survive. Nothing on paper on a chart is going to survive unless you've bought puts or you're net short on an asset. So I would just be really cautious here. Though the pattern's there, it doesn't mean it's going to actually outperform and do what it did in 2019. It's just like, hey, it's potential and it's still okay right now, but I'm not calling for it to go higher because I never know and will never be like, I know for certain if we're going up or down. Right now, it's just a weird situation where sure, it could reverse bullishly because we've identified a pattern that's been going on for like 2 months plus, and we're above an inflection point, but the macro. Just what news is coming out tomorrow, right? I mean, who's getting laid off? What's going to catalyze some sort of crash?
We have all these CEOs that are stepping down too, which is so weird. Every single day, Mitch, there's another CEO stepping down, and there's just like crazy ratchet news everywhere.
They were doing that at the beginning of this year. Well, there was a massive layoff or massive step downs from CEOs in 2021 and 2022, I believe.
Yeah,
they've already done it. Like that craziness happened, and we've been drawing down all year. And remember, at the all-time high on the stock market, that was when the Fed, like Nostradamus, came in and said, you know what, due to ethical reasons, we are no longer going to be trading assets like the Fed.
Okay.
And so that was the top.
I don't know why I don't believe that. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like how people that are in the higher government say that they can't personally trade stocks or they don't do that. Meanwhile, it's like their husband or their uncle or their sister or their brother is the one that's holding and trading all these stocks and getting the insider knowledge. And
yeah, Pelosi, greatest trader of our time.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy what's going on in this world. There's just a lot that goes on, which makes me like crypto a little bit more, because that way we could at least know, like, you know, that all of us could get involved. All of us kind of can have the same know versus like the people that are in the stock market, that it's very much more controlled. Like, I know you watch the FOMC meeting and you do a live stream for that. I know a few others that do that. Why do you, for people that are new to trading, why is the FOMC meeting so significant, and why do you watch it live and watch the charts at the same time?
Because it's like a known volatility type event where, you know, oh, he's going to speak. It's either before, during, or after we're going to get volatility spikes. I mean, it like this last time, the prices pumped up insane amounts, and by the time he got done speaking, everything was flat. And then when he got done speaking, everything started dumping. Yeah. So it's just you know, there's going to be market activity. Everything's beholden to the Fed. I mean, like, really, this whole stock market, I think it was ruined in 2008 when they bailed out all the banks and stuff, and you know, had the money printing that really started back then. And now, like, the Fed controls everything. You got the plunge protection team. You've got the money printing, you know, and so, wild. And then buying mortgage-backed securities. I mean, that's like legitimately the only thing that's keeping the market from going up all the time. Like, and now they're not doing that. And really in 2008, they did that because they could, because the debt wasn't too high, you know, and inflation wasn't crazy. But now we don't have that out because all this inflation, you know, they printed $9 trillion globally. All the central banks collectively, $9 trillion printed in a 2-year period. And so it's like, you look at your house and it's like, hey, my house is up $200,000 in 2 years. Well, that correlates with the money supply.
Absolutely.
The $9 trillion. So it's just like, now you have inflation so sky high. I mean, CPI of what, 8.2 or something? Bull crap. Go, anything you buy food wise is probably up nearly 100%. So the CPI is a joke. I mean, for the things you're trying to buy, nothing's only up 8%. Everything's up double, triple, quintuple that amount. So, yeah, I think just the Fed owns everything, and it's a dysfunctional market. It really is. Like, wow, they're offloading their positions. Like, I think it's just the deleveraging hasn't even really started. Just wait till the VIX starts spiking and the bots start offloading their leverage, right? Where they're, you know, they have three-time levered ETFs they own, and they start selling those. You'll see how fast this market will dump, and that's where I think it's like, how can they say that they're going to have a soft landing? It's like, that's never happened before, ever.
Yeah. And
how can you say it's going to happen this time? If you're looking at the QQQ right here,
the QQQ.
Like, this is. Yeah, that is the NASDAQ 100. That's like where the largest aggregates of the QQQ are, the big ones like Apple, yes, Microsoft, Amazon, Google.
I see the commercial all the time. This lady's like, I'm LaDonna and I invest in Invesco QQQ. Like, yeah. Oh God, I can't with that commercial. I hear it every single day.
Yeah, and like college football Saturdays, you see it all the time. Yeah, they put a lot of money.
They
but
pump
like,
it, man. They pump it.
This is where this thing's at. I mean, it's sitting at a support, and if it doesn't hold, I mean, there's just a long way down. I mean, there's no real strong supports until like 195. So just think about where the market's going to be. And like, what's going to make the Fed pivot is when a circuit breaker triggers. Like when we start getting like limit down days, like we got in the COVID crash, where you're talking about the S&P 500 drops 7% in a day. Like that means like trading halts when that happens for 15 minutes, and then trading resumes after a 15-minute period. And then there's 3 circuit breakers. There's the 7% one. There's the 13% one, where if the stock, the S&P loses 13% in a trading session, then the market halts again for 15 minutes, I believe. But then there's a third one where if the stock market drops, I believe 20%, the trading's done for the entire day. That's never happened before in terms of a circuit breaker triggering on a level 3 circuit breaker. We've only had level 1s. I don't even think we've ever had a level 2 circuit breaker trigger, but I think that's when you'll get the Fed to panic, and that's when they would come in, they would intervene. But that's like the only thing. I don't see how they would ever be able to intervene or panic if we just keep doing what we're doing, where it's just like, well, the VIX is suppressed and we're not crashing, we're not limiting down, we're not dumping 5% in a day, 6%, 7%, we're not doing that. So the way it's going right now, it is soft landing-ish. This is as soft landing as you get when you're slow going, but there's been no acceleration really of this downtrend. We are in a well-established downtrend, and there's been no part 2 crash. Like if you go back to 2008, like there was a period of acceleration where you were already in a well-established downtrend way back here.
Yeah.
Like you could even plot like a channel, something like this. And it's like it started crashing, and then it broke that downsloping support, and then just kept going. I mean, like this right here, this is like a crash. I mean, 48% losses on an index fund in 98 days. That's something we haven't really had yet in this current market, and
that's a crazy drop.
You're waiting on that.
If this happened, like people would be crying all over crypto Twitter. It'd be a mess.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's why it's so hard to be like bullish on Bitcoin, even with the harmonic structure that is held and is rallying off of it some, and you're back above inflection points, because you just don't know, like if that happens, if we get an acceleration of the sell-off in the bear market or the stock market, I just don't know how Bitcoin is and these altcoins are going to hold up. Like I don't see them doing it. I don't think they can. And when the VIX spikes, Bitcoin's going to get nuked. All the altcoins are going to get smoked too. Even these nice little low risk trade setups. That's why it's important to have stop losses. If you're going to swing trade, stop loss. The first thing you do after you enter a trade is you set your stop loss always. If you don't do that, you're just asking to get wrecked. Yeah, because trades are going to go against you. It's part and parcel. It's part of it. So 2000 was another good example. It's like, look, you had your 2000 crash, then you had your bear market rally, and then you just see like how many times the dumps happen, little bear market rallies, and then more dumping, and then another lower high gets put in and another massive dump. I mean, like just think about, we're probably more like, tech bubble popping, we're probably more in the 2000 than we are in 2008 if you compare them. So
really, you think so?
Well, yeah. I mean, tech is what popped in 2000, and tech's popping now.
Yeah.
Like you got energy stocks are like hitting all-time highs still. Like ExxonMobil, I believe, hit a new all-time high today. And then you got other defensive stocks out there that are also holding up relatively well, but tech's not holding up at all. So
oh boy.
Yeah, anyway, that was kind of going into, I'll turn this here. I'll turn it on. I'll stop the share. Yeah.
Well, thank you for dropping some more alpha. Now I'm scared about Zebug's chart.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's
bullish divergence on bug eating. I think, if live cattle futures keep pumping, that means like, you're probably going to get Zebug prices are going to be, people are going to be maybe inclined to eat Zebugs.
We're going to be eating ramen out here.
Hey, $100 sirloin at a restaurant, I can't afford that anymore. So I guess I'll get the butterfly souffle or something like that.
I don't know.
Someone brought it.
I don't know. Some cockroach lollipops.
Yeah, that's for dessert though. I'm talking about 5-star dining. You're gonna have
are you a fan of tofu? Have you had tofu? Because some people like to substitute meat with tofu.
It's okay. I have it in my like soups and stuff from Asian restaurants.
That's different. That's different.
It's tofu though.
But people make like tofu steak. Like,
never done that ever.
Yeah, I've seen that. Have you ever had tofu steak? No, I would pass. I would pass on that.
The texture's like gross. It's like gelatinous, right? It's like
I'm not a fan. I like steak. Like I'm a fan of steak. I like burgers. I like chicken. I'm out here for all that. I'm not really a bug person.
Yeah. You're not vegan. That's good.
See, I don't have anything against vegans. If you
Yeah,
want,
there's nothing against them.
If you want a vegan, then vegan. But me personally, if I see a steak in front of me, I'm going for that versus a salad. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
I like steak. So you guys like have good steak out here, because I feel that like New York steak isn't like good. Like everything's just like sent from God knows where, and we just get wrecked over here. We get scammed. Everything's overpriced. Meanwhile, when I was in the South, affordable steaks everywhere, and they were fire. Like they were really
affordability is real, but think about cattle living down here. You're getting fresh steak and stuff. I don't know.
So
I figured in New York though, I've been in New York, you go to a good steakhouse, they got a good
but
vendor.
that's like it's a legit steakhouse. That's different than
where else would you get a steak though?
What do you mean? Like if I go to the butcher in the grocery store, then
they should have a good vendor, right?
Yeah, they do. Except that it's literally $43 for one singular steak.
That's insane. Like that. Yes. That's crazy.
My dad literally, me and my sister were eating out one night.
Like a ribeye or what?
Yeah, I think it was a ribeye. Let me text him.
For one ribeye, what ounce
was the steak? A ribeye. I don't know, because they were charging by pound, so it was $28.99 a pound. It was just over a pound. It ended up being $43 for one steak, and I felt bad for him because I was just like, why are you paying this much when if we went to a restaurant, some restaurants are charging like $30 for an okay steak, and sides.
Probably not anymore.
Oh, he said it was a T-bone.
Oh,
it was
wow.
a T-bone. Dude, ridiculous. They want us to eat the ramen.
Steak.
They want us to eat ramen. They want us to eat the bugs. I'm absolutely horrified. I will not go near a bug. I'm crushing those and throwing them away. I'm not ingesting them.
No, let them live. Let them live their lives. They are our friends. Our bugs are our friends, but we won't eat them, right?
No. Listen, if a bug is coming for me, you bet I'm whacking that. Dude, you think I'm just going to sit here and let the bug,
call on and be like, this is my buddy. Come on, this is my buddy.
No,
I've known him for years.
Mitch, no, ew. No.
Depends what bug.
I would be like grabbing a rag and whacking that thing. Like,
what if like a beautiful like Luna moth lands?
What is that? You're talking about some extraterrestrial stuff over here.
No, Google a Luna moth. They're beautiful.
Okay, so if it's something pretty, then maybe I would do my due diligence, do a quick Google. But if it's something scary like a cockroach, it's out of here, man. I'm not doing
cockroaches.
That.
They no chance.
I like ladybugs and butterflies. Like I'll open if there's a butterfly, I'll chase it in the fields, whatever. Mm-hmm. But not anything else. I'm good.
What about jumping spiders? Baby little small jumping spiders.
No spiders.
No, they're so cute.
Get them all away from me. I don't, especially the ones that are furry. No.
What about
get away from me?
Peacock spiders?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Google it. Bro. Google peacock spider GIF. Type it in. Peacock spider. Like the peacock, the bird.
Yes.
The peacock spider.
I got you. I got you, Mitch. I got you. Oh, they're still get that away from me.
Do a GIF.
Get that away from me.
What? Yeah, type in GIF.
GIF.
You might need to do mating call too. Do you see what they do?
Oh, they do like a little.
Yeah. How could you not like that?
No,
they're adorable.
Get it away from me.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
No,
I don't like
furry,
spiders either,
weird.
but that one's adorable.
No, this makes me uncomfortable. It literally looks like it's staring at you for in the soul. Like it's staring into my soul. I'm exiting this tab. I'm exiting the tab. I don't want any spiders near me. A butterfly's okay. A ladybug, actually. When I was in speaking of Fort Worth, Texas line dancing, when I was out in Fort Worth, I was out on the town, right? I was taking a walk, and I found this little spot that had like a little stream. So I was looking at the turtles and stuff, and I was sitting there.
The turtles?
The turtles.
I like turtles.
They were really cute. They were small, and one ladybug just flew at me in the face. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And I saw it was a ladybug. I was like, that's so cute. And it means good. Exactly. And I Googled it and meant good luck. And I felt blessed at the moment. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I don't know. That was so random, but I wanted to.
Do you think it worked out? Do you think it increased your luck?
Honestly, yeah, because I went from Fort Worth. It was really bad. Like, I'll tell this story now because it's a long time over. So I went to Fort Worth, and no one even knows this story. I went to Fort Worth, and the first day I'm there, we ate food, and I got horrible food poisoning. And
Yikes.
it was horrible. I was everywhere. It was horrible. And I had to speak.
So
I
you
came
yacked?
yes, it was horrible. I don't even want to talk about it. So 2 days. So I had that day I came in. Then the next day I was supposed to be speaking. And the day after I was supposed to be speaking. Thank God that it was our friend that was running the event because he totally understood. I was like, listen, man, because he knows me really well. When I say I'm going to do something, I do something. And if I physically have to be able, I have to physically be on the floor for me not to show up to an event because I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Bottom line, I was wrecked. Second day, I was wrecked. Food poisoning all day, wrecked. I finally had 5 minutes of where I was in that euphoria mood after you're when you're sick and you get that 5 minutes of energy. I was like, I'm out of here, man. So I left my
Second
hotel.
wind, yeah.
Yeah, my sister, my dad was sleeping. I was like, frick them. I'm out of here. So I went and I took that walk. That ladybug hit me in the face, and then after that, now that I'm thinking about it, I was pretty okay. The next day, I was out at the event. I was speaking. You guys could actually look at that video. It's in my event speaking playlist. I was in Texas.
Okay.
It was great, and I spoke. I had a great time, and I was alive. So, God
It
bless.
was all because of the ladybug.
I think it was because of the ladybug.
But you didn't even think about that till now.
But I think it was the ladybug.
Yep.
It was a whole blessing from the ladybug. And then right after Fort Worth, I had to scoot out to Texas because I had a conference down there, and I was going to Miami, and I had a conference down there right after Texas, and I was fun, and I had a great week. It was Bitcoin 22 week. I had a great week. So I think maybe the ladybug helped me out all in the end. I know that was a long-winded story, but it came to an end here.
No, I mean, it's good. It's
Ladybugs.
If you're out there and you think you can just go to a ladybug farm and just eat ladybugs and get luck, that's not how it works. It has to be accidental, right?
Yeah, it was it was so cute. It was a yellow one too, which really threw me off. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a special one.
Those are actually not as special. Those are really invasive.
Oh.
They can be a nuisance too. But no, you got jebaited, but it worked out.
I got jebaited.
Any kind of ladybug, it's like if you it's like when you're at a horse farm, if you accidentally step in horse crap, it's good luck, right? Did you know that?
Oh, I also heard if you get pooped on by a bird, it's good luck. I got one time. I was walking right in the face, on the nose. I was horrified. I was down the block from my house. I was crying. I was young. I was screaming. I was like, oh my God. My dad's get over it. And I was like, it's on my face. What do you mean? And I had to walk down. It was the longest block of my life. Do you think
it was a pigeon?
It was definitely, what else is there? Yeah, it was definitely a pigeon.
I have a pigeon problem at my place here. And we're talking these things, they're worse than rats. Evidently, they carry diseases
Don't go near them.
Yeah, no, it's worse than tuberculosis, whatever they carry, and you can get it. It gets in you. It's in you for life. It's you're effed. So
wrecked. All right.
Yeah. So they're roosting up on my building's roof now because they're redoing all these other buildings around me, and got a pigeon guy, but now that's been put on the back burner because my whole place got flooded downstairs, and now I'm living in another place, and I just commute here. I walked here from my place I'm staying at, and it's just disruptive. But the pigeons, they got lucky. How lucky the pigeons got, because I was about to, we were about to get rid of them, and now it's all this crap happened. So
yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I mean, listen, I don't like pigeons. A lot of there was a whole protest in the city that saying that the pigeons are fake and that they're government robots. So, I guess we're gonna see.
They are totally.
We're gonna have to see. I mean, listen, the rats here are bigger than the birds, so that's something I'm also scared of. The rats are taking over, but thankfully, I saw an announcement.
How many rats have you seen?
Oh, a scary amount. Bro,
really?
You don't even want to know. If you go outside, especially in Times Square, they don't even care. They don't even hide from you. They're like dogs. They're whole
squirrels,
possums. I've seen a possum. My dad and I were driving. I think it was last week. Across the street, what runs a possum in broad daylight? I was horrified.
It's not good.
Not.
There's something wrong. But you see an opossum in daylight, it's got Lyme disease or something's messed up with it. They're nocturnal.
Listen.
But a possum in the city, that's weird. Do you live near Central Park or something?
No. I'm in Brooklyn. I'm not. Listen, I'm not a fan. what I am a fan of is ladybugs and butterflies. No other bugs.
Cockroach lollipops.
No, not. See, you like the cockroach lollipops. You like all the bugs. Listen. Everyone that's on Mitch stream, he lies to you. Straight up lies to you. You know he likes the bugs.
Yep. Just love them.
So you all right? I know we've been.
My first sponsor ever will be the bugs. A Klaus Schwab run World Economic Forum bug company will be my first sponsor ever. Yep, I've already penciled it in.
Literally,
that's my dream.
Stop.
Come on.
Stop. Guys, please subscribe to Mitch Ray's YouTube channel. He will be live in an hour and 10 minutes going over the charts. He'll probably be live for like 5 hours because that's just what he does. I'll also be live on Crypto Stash's channel for Around the Metaverse at 7 p.m. Eastern. So, guys, also just tune in to Mitch Ray. And if you want to hang out with me, tune into Crypto Stash. Go back and forth. Have both streams on. Turn off the volume on each one. Listen to one and the other. Drop likes on both streams. Drop a like on this stream if you enjoyed it. Guys, also comment after this is over. Let us know if you like the bugs. Let us know if you think Mitch should start going line dancing.
You're not going to get many likes if you say that.
No.
If you like the stream, if you like the bugs, hit that like button.
No, I'm just joking around. But definitely smash the like button. Comment after if you like the bugs, if you don't like the bugs, if you think that Mitch Ray should go line dancing. I think you got to go line dancing. I have to go line dancing. If we ever end up in the same southern place for going line dancing, I'm forcing it to happen.
Is there no line dancing in New York?
No. There's barely places to go here. There's barely any clubs. There's nowhere to go. Everything's closed.
Since COVID?
Everything's depressed. Yeah, everything closed down.
Really?
Everything closed down. I think you should actually.
When are you moving to Miami? Because that seems like a better city.
I don't know. I'm worried about the hurricanes there. At least in New York, I have like the food. I have the pasta that you don't like. So I think I'm going to stay here so I can have my pasta and all my gluten and my cornbreads. And you could enjoy your keto
cornbread's
diet
the cornbread's way better down here.
Probably. Actually, I'll give that to you.
It was created down here. It was invented down here.
Was it?
Cornbread definitely invented in the South.
Yeah. No, I was talking about. I thought you meant like Alabama.
I don't know. No, I don't think it was invented in Alabama, but in the South, it was definitely created. It's like a poverty dish for Southern people.
So next weekend, you're recording a reel at the place you mentioned that's down the block from you while you're line dancing, and you're posting it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Am I?
Yeah.
No, that's not. No. Hold on,
So
stop. They're telling me no.
Please spam his Twitter. Please spam his Instagram and his live stream chat later, telling him to go line dancing because it needs to happen. He needs to be in touch with his Southern roots. Eat the cornbread. We're gonna get him off the keto diet, and we're gonna have him eating pasta and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for coming.
It's like I haven't. Yeah, it's not like I haven't, but yeah.
I feel like if we don't, we've been here for almost 2 hours. I feel like if we don't end it, it's never gonna happen. Yes, it's literally almost 6 o'clock. We started at 4.
Wow,
I think it's because
I feel like I blacked out. What?
Yeah, it's been a really cool show. This is probably the longest show I've had. So thank you everyone that came. Thank you everyone that's hanging out here. Please smash the likes if you haven't already. Comment after this video is over. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I will be back. I believe my next show is Friday. Then next week I'm going to touch the ocean. So I'm very excited. So thank you guys.
Touch the ocean?
Yeah, I'm touching the ocean. I'm going to be going on a little mini vacay. I'm so excited. I'll talk to you about it after the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, make sure you smash the like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Have a great day. And as always, stay zesty. Peace.